Howdy, folks! With the school year and football season firmly upon us, more of us are going to be out partying, drinking, and getting lit. These experiences can be some of the most fun and memorable of your college career, but there's a real risk of being put under the influence of a nasty set of chemicals known as date rape drugs. Hi, my name is James Lamp, and I'm a presidential student ambassador that will be giving a description on these date rape drugs, what they do, and what you can do to prevent these drugs from wreaking havoc upon you or your friends. Date rape drugs are defined as any drug that can make it easier for an assailant to assault you in some way, typically sexually. This is a very wide descriptor and can be put onto almost any recreational substance at a high enough dose. However, this category typically refers to tasteless and odorless drugs that can be put into alcoholic drinks by assailants and drank unknowingly by victims. Statistics are unfortunately very limited on this topic, but it is conservatively estimated that over 11 million women, or over 6% of all women in the United States, have fallen victim to these drugs. In the United States, there are two primary drugs that are used, GHB and Rohypnol. GHB, also known on the street as liquid ecstasy and clinically known as sodium oxybate, was previously sold over the counter as a bodybuilding supplement. However, in the 1990s, it was found to be quite prevalent in drugging situations and was subsequently banned and placed as a controlled substance. Currently, it is prescribed as a sleep aid under very certain circumstances, but it has been noted that GHB is very easy to manufacture by underground or clandestine labs and is thus readily available and widely used in these situations. Rohypnol, also known as roofies or flunitrazepam, is the other date rape drug commonly used. Rohypnol is a benzodiazepine, another commonly abused class of drugs, and just like other benzos, it has found a clinical niche for both sedation and anxiety reduction when used correctly. However, Rohypnol also has an extreme potency and is tasteless compared to other benzos, which also puts it in distinction for being drugged. There are many other types of drugs that are used, such as Quaaludes, Benadryl, or slipping a Mickey, but these two are by far the most common currently. It can be difficult to separate the differences between being drunk and being under the effect of a date rape drug, especially considering that it's common to be on both at the same time. However, if a friend is around the person that was drugged, it becomes a lot easier to tell. People who are under the influence of a date rape drug while drunk tend to have a personality shift. They can be a lot more agreeable, laid back, or tired than if they were just drunk. They might also do a wide variety of actions that they would not deem rational, even when they're absolutely wasted. Some can even hallucinate and experience situations that don't exist in the real world. Moreover, these drugs are very well known for their bodily effects. People who have been drugged with this class of substances report feeling very heavy or very dazed in their movements. They don't wish to move unless there's a good reason to move or if there's an accompaniment of others at very high dosages. However, these effects are extremely subjective and not universal, so it's almost impossible to tell what symptoms someone would experience, and it's best to leave it up to a friend to determine whether someone's been accurately drugged or not. In the case of these drugs, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Making sure that your drink is well guarded against those who do not mean well is the number one way to not let this occur. Holding your drink or not letting it out of your sight are your two primary ways to ensure that no one slips anything in while you're not looking. Additionally, only consuming unopened beverages is a way to prevent having something that is spiked by someone else. Additionally to all of these, there's a wide variety of experimental devices that can detect the presence of these drugs that are currently within development. These include a nail polish, a straw, a cup, and many more that can be available within the next few years. Overall, these drugs have had a lasting impact on our society and are a danger to people everywhere. Victims of these drugs are not at fault whatsoever of this occurring to them and are typically targeted over someone else's twisted desires and feelings. It's extremely unfortunate and disheartening that this is a problem today, but we can have hope that in the future that date rape drugs such as GHB and Rohypnol are eliminated from our parties, bars, and tailgates.